Well, in this video today, I'm going to try to help you understand a couple of things. I've been asked, how did Manny really get to us? So I put together a little bit of a timeline. By the way, all of these documents and things I'm going to be sharing are going to be are available already on Scribd. And you just search his name, Manny Regalato. That Scribd site's pretty good for research. A lot of people put legal documents on Scribd. That's SCRIBD. Yeah, Scribd.com. So I want you to know that I tried everything I could to figure out who this guy was in the beginning. In fact, all of us did, and we really couldn't get a handle on him because his story changed. And I think his story changed based on who he was talking to and how much leverage he could get out of that person. But here's a little thing you need to know. So this is dated on April 1st. This is from Manny Regalato. And he came here sometime in March. He didn't come to me. He went over to Whisker City first. So he was always working the girls over there for work. And he'd come up with things he could do, and he was going to do it for free. Now, this is interesting. You're going to love this. This got a little bit of love bombing, a lot of lies. And just to let you know, today's video is about this detective Laura Allspa. Now, this is the detective who's head of fraud up at City of Shoreline. And Manny Regalato conned her. They're the same age, and I'm guessing that he was able to convince her that he and I were in a relationship because she's young and has no understanding of a woman in her 70s. And women in their 70s aren't looking for a toothless little squirt of a guy to steal their money from them. We certainly don't need a roommate. And oh, come on. Who'd sleep with that guy? That'd be, well, someone is. So, okay, this is from his address, mannyregalato@gmail.com. He says, I first like to say thank you for the privilege of being able to be a part of such an amazing organization the last few days. Okay, so 3 days he's been there, it sounds like. It has truly been an honor getting to know you and all the amazing service you do in the city, community, and ever state. There's a lot of misspellings and stuff, but you'll see it. I'll put it up there on Scribd. First of all, how do you get to know someone in 3 days? And this jerk was always right off the bat saying, my friend. He was also dropping my name all over and Whisker City's name, which is what he's doing to these people. He's always trying to get into an organization. Now he's in this railroad bunch. These idiots. You know, I had no warning. I'm warning them, and these idiots are still all over this guy. I think we both agree that one's work is never done when it comes to building and or the shelter itself. Well, I thought it was done. Facing this truth and knowing this is a shelter that survives off of donations, but no things cost wherever you decide to spend your time. His spelling's terrible. I mean, this is no guy with a college degree in electrical engineering. Oh, maybe you don't have to spell to be an electrical engineer, but you can't be stupid. Where did I leave off at? Facing this truth and knowing this is a shelter that survives off of donations, but no things cost wherever you decide to spend SPIN your time. I'd like to make, oh, you're going to love this. I'd like to make a donation of my time at an extremely discounted rate of $350 per day when it comes to ongoing projects around the 3 properties. At the time, I had 3 properties. Don't anymore. Thank you, Manny Regalato. Piece of shit. As I'd like to continue working with you all, and the fact that I am truly touched on what it is you're doing at Whisker City. By the way, his wife says he hates cats. Boy, he probably had to go home and suffer through showers and God, all who knows what all this guy suffered through to be around those cats. When it comes to the rear roof expansion and or exterior enclosure, I've come up with an estimate of $12,000 in materials, but this may change once the old framework is exposed when we get to that step. This project estimated time frame would be 2 weeks. Ha! 2 weeks? That guy can't take a crap in 2 weeks. And have a roof built over the enclosure and laundry room. This project would be broken up in steps because of the rain and cash flow. Also, my truck can only carry so much and me build so much in a day, so the purchase of materials would be broken up. If you all should decide to move forward, a more detailed materials list will be provided, and perhaps you may be able to get that donated, but whatever construction, plumbing, electrical, structural, gardening, roofing, and building projects you choose to tackle. You'll know what discounted rate I would be willing to work for you all at if I move forward on this project. I would be asked for 4 days in advance to make the needed accommodation and notify my current clientele. He'd been here 3 fucking days. He had no clientele. What a liar. I would thank you again for the blessing of getting to know you all. Best MR, sent from my iPhone. Now listen, when he came up here, he was pretending to be a Christian. And he'd gone to a church and he tried to weasel his way into this church. Well, it didn't work. It did work for one guy, but that one guy was an honest guy. I've kept him around. He's a good guy. He had a heating and one of those companies where they do the metal cutting and all that for the air vents and all. He's a good guy. But he caught on to Manny and he warned me about Manny, but it was too late. It was too late. Of course, he waited too because all these people are cowards. There's so many people. This is my stack of emails from people that have contacted me, and I'm going to have these all up on Scribd. But I've got him all the way into Las Vegas in this Queensboro, an investment company, and all kinds of things. That guy's a sneak. But what he did was, I want you to know, I did a lot of things to try to get this guy, and nobody cares. You know what the stats are on construction fraud? Less than 1% of people who commit, they're all men, construction fraud, are ever tried. 1%. Now we have all these laws and all these politicians and all these people. They're just glad handers. They're just collecting their paycheck. They're not protecting the citizenry. King County, there was a gal who contacted me who had reported her a rape to Shoreline, and they said it was a case of he said, she said. Every time a cop says that, they're a dope. There's no police officer or investigator that teaches that in any college or any police academy. They do not teach that. You are supposed to be a cut above as an investigator. Now, mind you, when I went up to the city of Shoreline, to that police department, there was already plenty of things. I'd already presented all these cases, and they were not friendly to me because you know why? I've figured out when it comes to the police department, they're not allowed to bring certain cases. It has something to do with cost effectiveness or there's a lot of racism and sexism, and women are all dopes up there to the police. And look, when you have a detective that can be conned, well, she's lost all kinds of respect from her fellow officers. She brought a man in there when she was telling me they weren't going to go forward on the case because she believed fully that I was Manny's jilted lover. God, that guy, Manny's never jilted any woman. I can tell you that right now. As soon as they figure out who he is, I'm out of here. Well, I'll read you this letter And I'm going to put some pictures up here. I literally went to the police station and protested with a sign. Nobody cared. Nobody came out. Nobody asked. I wrote hundreds of letters to those idiots at the city council and our deadbeat mayor. They don't do anything but go to lunch and get fat. Look at them all. And the ones that are the women, you think they help other women? No, they don't. They're in this for their businesses and to marketing and things. They're not in there to help the citizenry. In fact, don't even waste your time going to a council meeting. It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. Well, here's my letter to this detective, Laura Alsbach. I wrote this on 12/12/19. So Manny's first involvement with us, he wrote that letter, and I kept that son of a bitch at bay for a very long time. And then he put the hole in my roof. And that's how he ended up over here. But he was messing around over at Whisker City. I wasn't over there at all. He was messing around over there, driving those girls crazy. They were complaining about him too. But, you know, as I say, they never strike when you're whole. They strike when there's a crack in the veneer and their little scummy selves can ooze in. These contractors are scary damn people too. They're well, he's a little wimp of a guy, but some of them are pretty big guys, and you can see why people are afraid to go up against them because they're ne'er-do-wells. They have criminals for friends. They carry guns. They all carry guns, and they all want you to feel afraid of them, even when they're working for you. Okay. This is to Shoreline Police Chief Sean Ledford. This never saw the light of day up there. Attention, Detective Laura Alsbach and Chief Sean Ledford. Manny Regalato. Detective Alsbach, as you recall in our first meeting, you told me the construction fraud Manny Regalato of A to Z Contracting Corporation committed has no bearing on now the closed case of embezzlement I filed. I originally wanted him to be arrested for stolen property, but you said that case could not be made. You said the only issue you can investigate are the unauthorized charges to my credit card and the Home Depot gift card returns. You also said that you work closely with Home Depot and Dunn Lumber, and you intended to get point-of-sale surveillance video from both businesses. She didn't do that. That was a lie. I have since discovered video is available from Home Depot and Dunn Lumber for only 30 days. I can only assume you hope this delay tactic would cause me to give up. Unfortunately, for other victims, that delay afforded Manny Regalato the time to fabricate his story and unload the stolen tools and use the gift cards. He fenced all that stuff. He sold all that stuff, $7,200 or something like that in tools. I'll have that. I'll show that in this video. You said in our first meeting you had to play devil's advocate. You warned me his defense would be that we are in a relationship. Now, she says this to me before she ever interviews him. That's how common this is. That for men, when people want to get out of something like stealing from their lover, fake lover, pretend lover, they just say, well, I was in a relationship with him. And these detectives go, oh, well, then we can't do anything about that. They're so stupid. You, aside from, you said, you warned me his defense would be that we are in a relationship. This would be a case of he said, she said. Aside from the inherent sexism in that viewpoint, I waited for you to investigate me so this claim could be proven false. You did nothing. You did not interview one person I know, or he knows, or could easily verify. I've never been a friend or in a sexual relationship with Manny Regalato. We never dated. I've never been to his home. I've never touched his body beyond a handshake. You know, I don't even know if I've shaken that man's hand, to tell you the truth. You led me to believe an actual investigation was in play when in actuality you never investigated Manny Regalato all. You just stalled. You lied. You diminished the evidence of embezzlement. you dismissed the evidence of embezzlement, and you empowered a dangerous con man with your ineptitude. He is currently working his con in Seattle and Shoreline with your blessing, which is true. He's completely reinvented himself now as a trained hobbyist, and he's in another organization. You know, he's one of these cons that knows the power of organizations. When you're in an organization, none of those people are vetted. And whoever this person is that started it, it's all about their ego. Look at me, look at me. I started this organization. I'm somebody, and come play with me. They don't give a shit if it's a rapist that's in their organization. You tell me those hobby people, hobby trained people, vet their people? No, they don't. In our second meeting on Monday, December 8th, 2019, after speaking with Manny Regalato, you accepted his defense. He claimed he could prove he performed 8 remodeling jobs from photos and receipts. By the way, when he filed that small claims, it's now 11 projects. He went from 8, now it's 11. Can you imagine 11 projects going on in 1 year? In 1 year? I'm telling you, these cops are, well, I've met some really nice cops at the city of Shoreline. But this woman's a dope. She needs to be put back on patrol and get out of investigations. You did not ask me one question, which she never interviewed me at all. She never asked me. She just said, Manny said, you're in a relationship. She didn't say to me, April, I looked on Manny's phone and he proudly showed me a sex pictures, or he showed you two of you at dinner, or not one picture does that man have of me. Not one. And I showed you his feet. That guy takes a picture of goddamn every body part. I bet you he has his weenie all over the internet. I wonder if it's egg-shaped like Jeffrey Epstein's. I'm convinced that these cons all have messed up penises. They're like point left, point right, got a hole in the top or a hole in the bottom, or they're little, or they're too big, or they're... Well, I doubt his is too big. I'll tell you why I don't think so. One day he came here. He was high on something. Could have been those Coca-Colas. I don't know what he was high on. He drinks those incessantly, but all day long, all day long. Well, he shows up here and he's got on this like underwear-y looking outfit. It's white and it's something you would never wear in public. And he had on sandals and he looked like, my first thought, well, this guy goes both ways. And I'm thinking, well, he probably does, because he's an actor. He's acting as if he's gay, or he's acting as if he's a heterosexual, or whatever it takes for him to infiltrate a community, he will act like that. And of course, you can't help but look down at a guy wearing underwear, and I didn't see anything sticking out or bunched up or in a bulge in his pants. I didn't see anything. So just saying as an aside. Okay, so these are, I put in this letter, just now, by the way, this is a public record. You can file for public records. I think you should. Don't believe me. Just file for public records. And otherwise, I'm going to have all this stuff online too at that Scrib. Here's Laura Alsbach. This is what she concluded without ever interviewing me. I authorized Manny to charge whatever he wanted to my credit cards and gave him permission to buy whatever he wanted. He claimed he was giving me a deal and he needed those tools to complete the job. Now remember, he came up here with no tools. Who does that? I don't know anyone who's in construction who gives up their tools. Maybe if they're a drug addict or something. Even though he advertised and promoted a business called A to Z Contracting Corporation for more than a year, yet he did not own proper tools. See next door advertisement and his Facebook page. Note the attached email allowing the agreement he proposed to me, showing the agreement he proposed to me. Is it logical to believe a contractor who had been working all over the county and in Spokane County did not own proper tools, or that a wealthy retiree who started a contracting business would not own tools? Or what reason would he have to be buying multiples of the same tools? He bought like 3 screw guns, asshole. Why would he need to return those tools for gift cards? See, that's the other thing. So when they buy stuff on your credit card, um, then they go back in without a receipt. Well, they get a gift card. Then they buy another thing with that gift card. I mean, it's a double whammy. They ripping off Home Depot too, which that bothers me. You defended him. Now she did this. You defended him for working 6 or less hours per day or not showing up at all because he was giving me a deal. That thinking completely wipes out the notion of a $350 a day deal. Your reaction to my pushback implied he didn't even have to actually earn the $350. He deserved to be rewarded with carte blanche purchases on my credit cards. In short, he offers me a deal, and I tell him to charge whatever he wants because he is really worth far more. He told me he told you he was worth far more than he charged me. That's what he told her. And she goes, oh, you certainly must be. Why? Because he's a little bitty man? Make that stupid comment to his victims. He has destroyed dozens of lives. He is so talented. If he is so talented, why am I spending $160,000 to repair the damage this talented contractor deliberately and or stupidly caused? Idiot. That pisses me off every time I say that. $160,000. You claim I gave him permission to keep the gift cards he got from Home Depot, returning items purchased on my credit card without a receipt. She says to me, I told him he could keep the money from returns. Now, have you ever heard such a thing? Oh my God. These gifts were because we were friends and lovers, he said to her. And he had permission to take whatever he wanted. He was free to steal from my garage, my credit cards, Whisker City, and the job site. Well, this is sexist concept any way you look at it. What woman would do that? Well, they'd have to be brain dead. You said that because he was willingly talking to you on the phone and willingly came in and spoke to you in person and answered your questions, this made him believable. Well, he's a con. He conned a police detective. I still can't get my head around why she would believe that guy. From your comments to me, I know you did not study one word of the information I afforded you. You have no idea who Manny Regalato is, and your lack of ability to interrogate and seek and decipher evidence is embarrassingly amateurish. Study cons and frauds and educate yourself. She's had a fraud. Regalato is a narcissist and a sociopath, and he easily conned you. He did too, man. She fell for it. I wonder if she's sleeping with him. Why? Because you responded like a woman with a built-in prejudice about women. I meant to say older women. Own it and fix it. Of course, she's prejudiced against old ladies. You know, if you think this younger generation's going to take care of the older ladies, they don't. They think we're all dried up and we deserve what we get. Plus, the city wants your house. They want to get your house any way they can. They hate old people up there. And so this is Manny Regalato's defense now. This is what he told her. And it says, Manny Regalato and Alsbach's false assumptions. Manny Regalato convinced you with the following defense and unsupported evidence you accepted without investigation. He brought her nothing. She just took the word. Just took his word. So, false assumption. Because he typed Brown, my name, as the job name on the receipt for the purchases meant I authorized it. Regalato also put my name on his Home Depot and Dunn Lumber Pro accounts. This trick does not make me responsible for paying the charges he made on those accounts that offer no value to me. You know what he used to tell me? Hey, let me buy it on the pro account. He said he got 30% off. Now look, you guys have Home Depot pro accounts. I didn't know this, but you don't get 30% off. I was busy. I wasn't paying attention to this dope. And then I was unaware he did this until I investigated. Putting my name on a receipt or on accounts simply means he's creating the appearance of professionalism and credibility and a reference and clout for himself at the point of sale. In other words, he's charging stuff and schmoozing using your account, which makes him look like he has money. He had no money. He had an old beat up truck. I don't think the guy brought a suitcase up here. I think he fled Los Angeles County because there's a lot of judgments against him down there. And he's a chicken shit because he picks on women and old ladies. He picks on women. He never's without a woman. I don't care if she's a scrub. He'll be with her just to give himself credibility. This is her, the improper interpretation of the embezzlement law. You said because he turned in receipts regularly, I should have known he was using my cards without authorization. This is the same victim shaming the receptionist, spewed when I reported the crime, and the same ignorance of the law. Illegal acts cannot be committed against any citizen of any age just because that person trusted the perpetrator. In fact, a violation of the expected or perceived trust magnifies the crime and may cause additional penalties. Because I trusted Regalato does not negate his responsibility and his crime. The IRS audits and audits by accountants and audits like the one I performed is how embezzlement and fraud is discovered. Victims are not required to know a theft has occurred. The law has advanced. The time of discovery is when the clock starts ticking. It's when you find out. Let's say I've been raped and drugged and I don't know it at all. And then a year later, I find a videotape of that rape on my security system. That's when the clock starts ticking, not the year before. It's when you discover that you've been raped. It's when you discover the fraud. Well, she doesn't know the law because she's a dope. Another false claim. Regalato says he performed 8 remodeling jobs for me. He supplied photos to you as evidence. You accepted these photos as proof without investigating their validity. She never showed me a single photo. She doesn't even know if he was showing her my house. She has no idea. I'm not in any of the photos of my house. All the photos of my house are of him in my house because I'm taking them. On Monday, you did not show me the photos or question me. You told me you saw my house and my bathroom and his work. You have no idea what you were looking at because she's a dope. As evidence of his believability, you showed me photos of tools you printed from the Home Depot website and shared that you questioned Regalato as to why he bought the tools. You didn't ask him to explain the multiple purchases of the many tools. You told me he would give the tools back. And I called that piece of shit. He never called me. She just said, oh, he said he'd give the tools back. Did she follow up to see if he gave? No. He sold all those tools. That piece of shit. I contacted him 3 times. Surprise. He has not yet responded. You were conned, Laura Alsbaugh. I hope her promotions are being held up. Well, of course, she's probably not up for any. Another false claim. I am Manny Regalato's friend. I wonder why I didn't say girlfriend. Well, he always called me friend, but he told her we were lovers and I was, what do you call it? Kicked to the curb. If that were true, you are declaring anyone can steal, embezzle, cause purposeful damage, and cheat on individuals and businesses by simply declaring a friendship. Do you not see the sexism in your thinking? Prove this defense. Ask Regalato about identifying body marks, tattoos, sexual acts I performed. Ask what acts he performed to me. Ask what we did together. Ask for the photos. He showed me photos of a woman he claimed to be dating, cuddled up to her and sticking his tongue out. Ask for the evidence before you accept the con. To further clarify the facts about the remodeling versus volunteer work and versus construction fraud, Regalado was brought to Whisker City by a volunteer because she told him about Ken Patterson breaking into Whisker City and stomping the cat Coyote to death. Regalado brought a woman with him to help paint and transform the crime scene. Together they added on to Coyote's cabin. Several others volunteered to work on Coyote's cabin at no charge. I paid for the materials. He was not hired as a contractor, nor was he my friend. I did not know him. Because the cat killer, Ken Patterson, lived next door to Whisker City and continued to behave in a threatening manner, the volunteers and the neighbors have not felt safe. The murder was evidence enough the cats were not safe, and because Detective Hawkins of King County found Patterson believable, he was emboldened. We could not use the 3 cabins, and we needed more sanctuary space, and Regalado was hovering and listening to our fear and stress. He gathered intel for his next move. See the emails. He constantly talked about projects to Aaron Balda and then would come to me offering to do the work for pay. Emails from Aaron Balda, the shelter manager, confirm his persistence. I finally agreed to let him build an outdoor enclosure on the front of Whisker City. He was paid and he did not finish that project. See the bank check numbers below. He did not work for free. By the way, that enclosure that he built, he left a hole in the top. That's where the squirrels went in and made a nest, and then all their poop and pee ran down. It was a slanted roof, ran down, hit the windows, went all the way to the floor. That's when I was repairing that, and the planning commission came down on me, and that lasted for almost 2 years. They tied up that house. So this thing with Manny Regalado has been going on for 4 years, involving other agency and massive incompetency by King County and City of Shoreline. I mean, you think when these people have these jobs, they're out for the citizenry? No, they're trying to get your house, and they're trying to get to the person with money. They know these cons like Manny have no money. So they go to the pockets of the people who have the money and start fining and threatening, and it's horrible. Then you're supposed to walk right back into the lion's den and hire another contractor, let them take the rest. Then if you don't do that, they want you to hire an attorney and let them take the rest. Everybody's trying to take from the people that are conned. And so don't look to government officials for solace. No, you let them come into your house. Those vultures are doing the same thing Manny Regalado did. They're sizing you up, and they're trying to figure out how they can get to your friggin' bank account. Well, I'm posting all those videos now from my security system of the phone calls. They're on speakerphone, by the way. The phone calls with Rachel Markle and Chris Bowden and Paul Whitehill, and they're all liars. 100% liars, every one of them. That must be a terrible place to work up there, because why do people lie? They must be lying because they must get in all kinds of trouble if they don't toe the company line. The Cat Room Project. I am a homeowner and remodeler since 2001. All my neighbors have witnessed me build. While I was adding a small cat room on the back of my house, Regalato did his usual near-daily visit to Whisker City. He heard me working and he popped over. I mentioned my mother was hospitalized and needed to go to Wenatchee. He was on me, so I hired him to finish the room. See text messages I supplied you. I left a credit card for him to buy materials, not tools, not personal items, not food, and not drinks. So now he knows my mother's dying, and he pounces that SOB. Now my brother's died. We've been broken in on Whisker City. We've got the killer living across the street. That guy is harassing me, trying to run his truck into my fence and screaming at me. The guy's a psycho, just like this idiot Manny. Then he was paid to build that patio cover. He was paid. That man never volunteered a penny of time to Whisker City. And by the way, he said he was paid $3,500 a day down in Los Angeles. No, he stole $3,500 a day is what he did. Then I, along with many others, are convinced that while I was out of town the first week of December 2018, Regalado caused the small gutter leak to become a downpour, purposely damaging my house. I was gone every 2 weeks for 4 days doing caregiving, plus travel with my business. I returned to a disaster and the despair he created. In the insurance business, it's called deliberate damage. He convinced me he could build the roof, so I hired him. This was the beginning of a nightmare he visited upon me. See videos at April Brown /cond. I've taken that one down. I'll try, mainly because I'd put this behind me till that asshole charged me with sexual harassment and stalking and harassing his children, which I didn't even know their names. Now he's put all these children in a document. Now you can file for public records and find out who his ex-wives are and who his children are and all. He just made that up. And when we got to court, he never said one word about that. He claimed I was trying to sexually harass him. Well, he stayed around here for a year. I tried for a year. Tell me what man takes a year of trying to get into bed. That man doesn't even exist. So in summary, I know this is long, but I'm going to read it just because I know a lot of people wonder how all this happened. Play it over a cup of coffee and be bored to death. But this is for attorneys anyway, or it's for anyone who wants to fight back, not your average Joe. So, summary of remodeling projects. 2. Before he destroyed my house, he was hired and paid to build a cat enclosure at Whisker City and build a patio cover on my barn. He was paid to complete both. So he did complete the patio cover, and he didn't complete the Whisker City enclosure, which had to be completely torn off. Because you know, the Planning Commission, they would have made me do that anyway because they're assholes. See, now, let me tell you something else about the Planning Commission. They volunteered at Whisker City. All these City of Shoreline employees volunteered over there, and they ran 14 newsletters about Whisker City, and those newsletters, they have our shelter featured on the front page. Okay, so see checks verifying payment with dates of those projects. He did not build a bathroom, cat room, or any other remodeling project before or after he destroyed my house beginning December 18th. No, he just destroyed the house and pecked away at pretending to be a contractor. And you'll see those videos, there's 144 videos. The bathroom, he told Detective Alsbach he remodeled. I remodeled that bathroom with the help of a real contractor in 2007 to be handicap accessible. I have supplied photos of my bathroom as it currently looks, supplied a few receipts from the 2007 remodel as proof. More receipts are available. This bathroom remained unchanged and still unchanged with the exception of a shower door he helped install and a pedestal sink I installed. Note in the photos, this bathroom is functioning as a makeshift kitchen since Regalato destroyed my home. And because Regalado did not remodel any aspect of that bathroom, it is obvious the bathroom is not new. Every part of this bathroom, from floor to ceiling and window to walls, was remodeled in 2007. Ask Regalado where the materials were purchased and for the receipts from that work. No, because she's a dope. Worse, the pictures he supplied, damn, I'm living in that bathroom because I have no kitchen. Who has a microwave in their bathroom? Who has dishes in their sink in their bathroom? This detective's a complete idiot. Now listen, I was already switching out the sinks when Manny popped in. Now this is this guy. He was always coming to my house and I was always kicking him out. Well, it's hard to be mean to someone every single friggin' day. He's such an annoying person. So I was on my computer looking for a shower door. He recommended the shower door I should buy on the Hope Depot website. So he's standing over me. I ordered a 72 by 72 shower door on November 20th from Home Depot for $1,050 plus tax. He returned to help me install the doors because, frankly, they are very heavy. I couldn't even lift one. This door was the wrong size and a wheelchair would not fit through it. Now, this is his recommendation. I ordered 60, so then I had to order a 60 by 72 replacement door at $989, even though he made a mistake on the fourth door, and because the doors are heavy, I welcome the help. Note the photo of the 72-inch door in my garage. See the receipts as evidence. His only help with the sink was that he held the sink steady while I screwed the bolts to the wall. Helping to install a shower door and holding a sink is not remodeling. In brief, it is against the law in Washington state to perform as an unlicensed contractor. Victims of embezzlements do not have to prove they knew they were being embezzled. Unauthorized use of the credit card is theft. Returning items purchased or on another person's credit cards for gift cards is theft. Victims are not complicit in crimes committed against them. So now that guy's married. He has marital assets. So, poor thing. I don't really totally feel sorry for her because when she married him, all this stuff I had was online. These women that marry these men that are cons, they all get divorces, they all get ripped off, they all lose their savings, and those men, they're married now. They can take half of everything they have, and they do. Also, they've often taken money from other family members. I wonder if she ever introduced him to her mother. His wife needs to say, introduce me to your mother. She supposedly is Italian. You know what's funny? He claims his mother's Italian and his father's Mexican or Hispanic. Yet, he doesn't speak a word of Italian. Now, I had a company at the time in Italy with a partner in Italy, and we did consignment trips to Italy. And he was wonderful. He's still my friend to this day. I just love this guy. Well, I hear Italian all the time from him. He's Italian. And so his wife's Italian. They speak English, especially him, because he's got this great travel business. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. You have to check him out. Red Bricks Travel. The nicest people. If you ever want to go to Italy, go to Red Bricks Travel. These are the most wonderful, honest people. They do a great job on your trips. But I've heard Italian now for a decade from this family. Well, he doesn't speak a word of Italian. You'd think now if he's going to say that, he'd say bonjour. Is that Italian? Whatever. He says si and hasta luego and vaya con Dios, whatever that means. Okay, now here's a list of his victims. The Swing family, Ron Swing Interiors. Dr. and Mrs. Aggie Hirschberg. These are the nicest people. The Hirschberg Foundation for Pancreatic Research in Los Angeles. That woman's probably my age or maybe a little bit older. Her husband died, and she started pancreatic cancer. She started this foundation. It's you know how I found these people? They put complaints up on Yelp, and Yelp's taken those all down. I don't know how he got them taken down, but I've got them screen captured. That's the other thing. When you first get into one of these deals, instantly file for public records any way you can. Instantly screen capture and download, because people can withdraw their emails and texts now. So when you're suspicious, by the date, you have to do it by the date. Now, I did this by the day because I've been involved with the fraud field, reporting on it since 2011. And I learned from Extortion Letter Info and this attorney Oscar Michelin and Matthew Chan and Greg Troy and just really neat people on how to gather evidence. So I've got a lot. Anyone who wants to sue him, you pay my way for that flight. I'm down there. I don't care where in the world it is. Of course, we can do it over this too, because now all these cases are done. A lot of them are done over phone and video, which I like. Okay. Dr. Maureen Demerigian in Los Angeles. This is the woman he's got in that video of, you have to go get this video before he takes it down. I've got it, but it's MRID. And he's pretending like that building is his office. You can really see the con job there. I mean, it's not even very good. You can just tell he's faking it. He doesn't own that $100,000 car or that space he's in is probably millions of dollars. He doesn't own that. Philip Mirzoyan or something, Mirzoyn. I've talked to him. He's a really nice guy, really nice. Neil Ryan of Pie Town TV. He lied to him about, that show's interesting. Anyone who has the footage of that show, he got involved with this Pie Town TV, and he was going to be the next do-it-yourself. Remember when everyone was wanting to be those hosts and self-improvement hosts or home improvement hosts? He wanted to be one of those guys. He does think he's a celebrity, or he wants to be really bad. He needs to get his teeth fixed, though. If he wants to be a celebrity, celebrities don't have bad teeth like that. Anyway, Mike Deach, he's with a charity. This might be the one where they ordered a whole bunch of furniture and Manny skipped out with the money. It was, I believe, a retirement home. Maybe he'll come on my show. Hannah Cook, Barbara Black, Kamaya DeRuiter, Brad DeRuiter, Rachel Jeffer, Jessica Mandy Moore. She's got 2 cases against him. K&R sliding door design. Luke Cananella. Now, I should call you out. Jessica Mandy Moore, her case is on Unicourt. K&R sliding door, that case is on Unicourt. Luke Cantanella, that case is on Unicourt. Stephen Supplewitz, that case is on Unicourt. 4442 Coldwater Corp, that case is on Unicourt. Dickens Interior Condominium Association, that case is on Unicourt. I think that's stolen check from Furniture Order too. Then Judy G on Yelp, she messaged me back and forth. I think this is the woman. He did some work for her and asked her, he's got this story about his money being tied up in offshore accounts. Listen, if you've got money tied up in offshore accounts, it means you're rich and you have cash flow. It doesn't mean you don't have cash flow. She said she gave him $3,500. He took it. Then this anonymous victim, but I confirmed it, and this was on Ripoff Report. I'll read that one to you in a minute. Judy Margot, she came to me through Facebook Messenger. Union Adjustment Company, they're on Unicourt. Matthias Riker, that's on Unicourt. Ford Motor Credit Company, that's on Unicourt. Then Joey C, he's on Yelp looking for him. He's mad. This guy made him a cash loan and he took the money and ran. Now listen, the dates on these are all in 2017. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And then he's up here early 2018 and he shows up over here at Whisker City in March. So they ran this guy out of town. He's afraid of these men down there. But notice how many women are on this list. George O from Yelp. Then the ripoff complaint. California Blinds Company. Aggie Hirschberg told me about that one. I've talked to some such nice people. I want to tell you, these cons don't go after cons. They go after nice people. Nice, trusting people. Piece of shit. David Mannheim. Philip with Studio City, California ripoff report, and then me. Then he's got, there's two I haven't been able to verify yet because they're in Edmonds Municipal Court. That's up here. There's two dates, 4/17/2023 and 3/27/2023. So he was in there twice. They could be different charges. If you're a lawyer, you can find that out pretty quick. And then here's one of the reviews. This is classic. This is kind of about how it goes with him. We contracted with MR Interior Design, Manny Regalato, to service a remodel a project for our home and paid him $83,000, people. The project was to be completed on or before October 31st, 2016. However, the company and its principal did not deliver about $34,000 worth of home products and services for which they received payment. The project was not completed, and we had to spend more money to get the remodel done so that we could move back in my home. He stole $34,000 from us, and since we entered into the contract in February 2016, he has incorporated his businesses, moved offices, changed websites, and moved into a new home, which he squatted on that home. I found 2 homes down in California he squatted on. I know there's more because he goes from one to another. He goes squats on a rental or moves in with a woman. Piece of shit. We have filed a civil lawsuit against him and have statements from other clients of his and former employees and vendors whose money he has stolen and whose projects he's not completed. He says to me he married a man, well, he probably has. He married a woman named Lene Uchida LaCourse, first marriage name, and now she is Lene Regalato. So then I've got all these other, here's one from Bradley. Here's one from Anna. He is a con artist and a fraud. He left our project unfinished and ran off with our money. Not only did he not pay not only did he not buy lights, fixtures, appliances, flooring, and other items we paid him for, and for we have receipts and copies and emails, he also did not pay the vendors and service providers, causing lien to be placed on our property. Now, see, that's what the Shoreline Planning Commission did to me. What happens is, when you file a complaint, those assholes in the Planning Commission are on you like flies on shit. This woman's property got tied up just like mine by the Planning Commission. You're punished. You're the one who's punished, but they can't find these guys. Now, this is a good one. Okay, it's got a beginning and an end here. Okay, here's the gal. Do not use, although he has beautiful ideas. Yeah, I got some of those beautiful ideas downstairs. His job is mediocre, plus he stole money from us, didn't pay vendors, and we end up paying someone to finish. He will make the most elaborate lies, and if you confront him, he will play victim. Oh my God, she's so spot on with that. You will lose your money. He owes us $15,000, and we paid and never got any work. This was a small project according to him, and he managed to steal from us. I like this guy. He's posting, and someone posted a positive review, which was probably Manny. It's Judy and Bradley. Seems that you two have such great experiences. Would you please ask Manny to give us a call? I left a good amount of messages begging Manny to call us back, but I could not reach him. Emailed a couple times, but no response. Manny, Doctor and I gave our trust. Now, see, a doctor. If you feel like a piece of shit because you've been conned, that's the part of the con making you feel shame. This is a doctor and her husband. He has probably on that list at least 4 doctors. So, and he got to one through another, and that ruined those friendships. You know it did. Doctor and I gave you our trust, and you cannot do this to us. When you read this message, I'm sure you know who this is. I want you to call me. You need to finish all the artwork and refund those undelivered items. You cannot stay in business doing patch up reviews. See, that's who she's talking about, that person who filed that, who put up the nice review. You have to stand behind your word and your work. At the end of the day, our children will suffer the consequences for your actions. And that's the other thing now. I lost my entire savings on that man, and I was still working while he was here till the pandemic hit. So I managed to get my savings back up to where it was, and those assholes in the planning commission tied up my property. The pandemic was here, my career ended, and I twice, that means more than $400,000 was put in jeopardy of it was gone, taken because of him. Well, the pandemic didn't help, but still, at least I would have had what he took to rest on when I lost the next round because of the planning commission. You just there's no one going to help you at all. So the best thing we can do is spread the word and put these videos out and warn others. And if you have a show about fraud, I wish you would contact me. I'd love to do an interview with you and help your viewers get over the shame game and stop protecting these men. And just know, this is a true stat. Only 1% of people who commit construction fraud are ever brought to trial. And of those 1%, I have found no restitutions. So Manny Regalato's in this for life. He's got all 50 states to hit because these idiots in our government don't have a database. Why? Because they don't want to enforce the law. In Shoreline, they're more focused on hookers. I'd say shoplifters and hookers, but they're not focused on that either. But they'll spend their time arresting and jailing hookers, but they can't be bothered with arresting people that are harming all us senior citizens. That list I read to you, those are mostly people over 50. So he knows what he's doing, that piece of shit. He knows exactly what he's doing. Now listen, every person I've talked to that has taken him to court and gotten these default judgments, they were unaware that he's married. Now, he said in court, and I don't know if this is counts, but I think it should count. He said in court he is married, he named his wife, and she was in the courtroom. That means he has marital assets now. Before he married her, no, he had nothing. That's why when I talk to the lawyers, I've just said, come on, please, go after this guy again. I know where he is. They don't do it because it's not worth their time and money. The victims aren't going to pay those attorneys to help me. It's just not going to work. It doesn't work that way. All you can do is prevent victims. Because these guys never go to court. They don't show up. Now he's showing up here in King County because you can't get arrested in King County for fraud. There's not a fraud that you can go to jail on. It's just they don't make the cases. And plus, you think all these laws are here to protect you? No, they're not here to protect you. How come you can only make 1% of all cases? 1%. That's like an indictment on the intelligence of the people that we have protecting us. The laws are to protect us, but only 1% of these criminals can be even investigated, and then out of that investigation you get a charge, and out of that charge you go to court and they can't make the case. So when I'm telling you all this stuff, all this focus we have on national politics and state politics, you better have the focus on local politics, because these are the dopes that are hurting you. You can be on every cause on the book politically, But if you're not protecting your home, well, you're down the river. Do you think anybody respects people that don't have homes? Of course they don't. That's how come the homeless are so upset. Everyone treats them like garbage because they don't have a home. Well, I don't want to not have a home, and I don't want to be treated like garbage. Like many homeless people, I've worked hard, and like some homeless people, the Planning Commission has run them off their properties, or a con man's trapped them in a financial storm. If they don't have a family, they're done, because the banks won't loan you money either when you only have Social Security. I can't even get a credit card. Because I only have Social Security. Can't get a credit card. Nobody cares. You think the police care? You think that city attorney at Shoreline cares at all about what happened to me? No, she's covering the back of those idiot city employees up there that don't even know how to follow the City of Shoreline charter. It's all public relations, and it's all jobs programs. It has nothing to do with your safety. Nothing to do. If it did, when something like this happens, then there would be a whole category of protection by the Planning Commission for people who have been conned, right? But there's nothing like that. No, they are as bad as Manny Regalato. They put a stop work order up and wouldn't let me go into my house for over a year. Well, I was supposed to stay out longer than that, but I didn't. I mean, can you imagine not allowing someone to go into their house when there's hoarder houses everywhere? Oh, you can go into that house, but we can't go into this house. And you can't fix that, but you can hire one of our contractors to fix it. No, thank you. I'll spend the rest of my life fixing it before I have another contractor in my house. Thing to remember for all those past victims that are watching my videos, Manny is married now. This is what he says. Is he legally married? I don't know. But if he is, he has marital assets, and the very fact that he declared under oath that he was married. You're under oath when you're in those small claims court.